What is up, Tube Tech students? r/diddles here. It feels so good to be back. Now, I'm super sorry about how I dropped the ball and letting you guys know that I'd be gone. Like, I just put up a video and then I was just gone for months. I'm so sorry about that. I really should have been more on top of letting you guys know what's going on in my life. But hey, I'm back. That's all that matters, and I'm ready to get on Reddit. Now, I know it's Friday, so we're supposed to be doing Ask Reddit, but I thought, hey, why don't we get into the swing of things by doing some story Reddits, considering that's what I got started with on this channel. So, today we're going to be taking a look at r/entitledparents. You can't really get any better than that. So, what do you say we go ahead and jump right in? Are you still recording my voice? I love you. You all make my life so good. I love you all so much. Our first story is by user Find a Pill. Entitled Mudder tells entitled Mudder. Our first story is by user Find a Pill. Entitled Mother tells me I can't use sign language at home because she won't learn it. So I've been told to share this, not sure if anyone will be interested. This is about my adoptive mother. My adoptive parents are British citizens who moved to my country in the EU. They adopted me actually expecting mental disabilities, but I was just profoundly deaf. You would think that would be easier. So I grow up. I get enrolled in deaf schools where I learn sign language. But my mother decides it's too hard for her to learn sign language and actually bans me from using it in the house. I had to mime or point at things until I could start writing, upon which I carried around a notebook everywhere. If I did try to sign, I was called disrespectful for not including her in the conversation. In a strange way, this made my writing language skills very good, as well as my lip reading skills, which many deaf people have challenges with. It was very difficult and upsetting living with her. My adoptive father was nice, but he was... It was very difficult and upsetting living with her. My adoptive father was nice, but he just listened to whatever she wanted, so he became a bad parent too. I went to university and limited contacting them. The one time I tried to visit them for the holidays, I returned to a house with a stranger family. My adoptive parents have moved back to Britain without telling me. Who does that? Now at first glance, this really doesn't seem like an entitled parents type of story, but the reason why I feel that is because this seems horrifyingly real. This genuinely feels like something that someone would do in real life. Sure, it doesn't have all the action of, and then she grabbed my son and threw him across the mall for he wouldn't give her child his blessed Game Boy Color Advanced SP. But it feels real. This feels like something someone would actually go through. User Tall Alcaran says, multiple entitled parents confuse adult LARP demo for video game babysitting. I LARP, live action roleplay, as a hobby. I also run a LARP for said hobby, in a sci-fi setting. It involves Nerf guns and a spaceship simulator with multiple stations, which means the crew has to cooperate to succeed. Why can't I read? Whenever I do dramatic diddles, it's so much easier. But then I get here and it's just like, I can't read. This makes no sense to me. We set up a demo booth at a local tech/art/invention show because that's really fun, and it's exactly the target audience we want for our game. The demo was a 10-minute run on the bridge and a 5-minute Nerf shootout in a hallway with some cover, using amped up Nerf blasters. Or, depending on popularity and engagement, it would last longer or shorter. This is not exactly set up for children. The video game is really hard and requires a lot of cooperation. And the Nerf guns tend to be painful. Not exactly hurt, but getting shot in the face is not exactly fun. Now, naturally, over the weekend we ran this demo. We had numerous entitled parents trying to drop their kids off at the video game booth. We had a clear 16 plus only sign up, which was required by the organization, but that doesn't stop entitled parents, of course. Multiple parents just dropped their kids off. We'd shoo them out of the booth and plop them straight back into the main area as not our problem. This, of course, got multiple entitled parents shouting at us for not watching their kids. We'd simply point at the sign and inform them that it wasn't our job. Watch your own kids. One parent pulled a custom Nerf blaster from the rack that said ask before touching, pulled back the extremely tough spring and shot his 6-year-old kid in the neck. The kid, of course, immediately started crying because, well, so would I. That hurts like heck. He then shouts that we shouldn't keep such dangerous things around kids and he's going to get us kicked out. He throws the Nerf blaster on the ground, damaging it. Later he comes back with someone from the organization, his kid with a pretty obvious red spot on the side of his neck. We explained he grabbed it without permission and shot his kid himself, absolutely on purpose. And he damaged our goods, pointing out that it's an over €150 toy. He gets removed from the location and the organization ended up paying us and recouping damage on EP. One kid tried to take one of the tablets we use for the Starship Stimulator. Oh boy. One kid tried to take one of the tablets we use for the Starship Simulator. These tablets are under metal frame which is screwed into a wooden stand, so they're not exactly something you can pocket. That didn't stop the kid from trying to walk out with the whole backpack-sized stand. When we stopped him, a bit unsubtly because we already had 2 attempted thefts of Nerf blasters before this, the parent tried to pay us €50 for the tablet because their son deserved this game too. Let's ignore the fact that it's useless without at least another 4 devices to run the game and requires a lot of setup, but the tablet itself is worth about €300. The parents wouldn't stop till we threatened to call the police. As said before, over the weekend we had at least 3 kids and 2 parents trying to steal our Nerf blasters. Most of them were hand modified and cost at least €60 purely in parts, with hours of labor invested in them. We had a big bowl of Nerf darts with our website on it, as a promo giveaway. We had a few kids and more than a few parents take a whole handful of darts instead of just one. All of them denied doing so, despite still holding the darts. On Sunday, we moved to a sign-in sheet requiring people to fill in a name and their age. That stopped most of the dump your kid off stuff. The event was pretty successful nonetheless. Several really interested people joined the game afterwards, and none of them brought their kids. Do we have a word for a gathering of entitled parents? Like you have a gaggle of geese, a pack of wolves. I say we call this, in memoriam of the original poster, a LARP of EPs. That's what they're called now. You can't change my mind. Like, comment, subscribe. Before we get into the last story, let me know if you'd like an event where I just live stream reading these stories to you guys. I think that would be a pretty fun event to do. Our last story is by user Kai's Mama, entitled Mom Parks on Our Grass. Recently we moved from Missouri to Ohio for my husband's job. We moved during the summer and have children at 3 different schools, but all 3 schools use the intersection kitty corner from our house. My younger 2 go to primary school here, which is kindergarten through 2nd grade. Since the kids are so young, many parents walk their kids down, but some have recently started driving 2 blocks from their house to the bus stop. Well, there's one mom in this green Jeep that has made it a habit to park on our grass in the afternoon to wait for her child. I didn't make a big deal about it the first few times, but after a week of straight rain during the fall, her Jeep made huge muddy tire tracks in our grass. I'm talking 4-inch deep, huge marks where the Jeep was nearly stuck. She had to back up to get after... Ooh, that was... What? She had to back up to get out after 5 minutes of letting the tires spin. The following day, I walked up to her Jeep and knocked on her window. I kindly asked her not to park on our grass anymore, especially when the ground was wet, and pointed to the large tire marks. She gave me a really snotty look and rolled her window up. I don't like confrontation, so I was sort of relieved when the following day, a Friday, she parked somewhere else. Monday afternoon rolls around and I looked out my window as she was pulling up and see her look to my front porch, where I normally sit to wait for my kids. When she didn't see me sitting there, she peels into my grass into the same tire marks as before and digs them in another 2 to 3 inches with mud flying everywhere. I was beyond livid, but I knew this wasn't going to go anywhere if I tried talking to her again. So I made a beautiful professional looking sign and hung it up. The sign says, "Please do not park on our grass. Smile, you're on camera." So we don't have a camera that points that way, but we do have a Ring doorbell that doesn't even point that way. What? Guys, I'm gonna pause the story right here. I've literally been reading this sentence over and over again for the last 5 minutes. If anyone can actually tell me what they mean, or if the user sees this video, can you elaborate what you were trying to say there? Because I genuinely have no idea what that means. She stopped parking there for 2 whole weeks until the rain and snow destroyed our sign. Today was the first day she decided to try parking there again, and I'm so happy she did. Right after she got her kid in the car and went to take off, a police cruiser pulls up and cited her for parking too close to a stop sign. No, I didn't call them. It was all completely coincidental. Well, hey, all's fair in parking war. You gave her fair warning, she didn't listen to it. You bring in a little bit of petty revenge, she listens for a while. Then all of a sudden, she decides, no, forget your rules. And then karma bites her in the butt. That's just how life works. Being an entitled parent doesn't pay. Every Christmas I'm a very good boy. I put out milk and cookies for this guy to enjoy. But Santa never brings the right toy. I felt like giving up on all this holiday joy. But if you've seen the Santa Claus, you know you become Santa if you put on Santa's coat. You can kill him, leave him dead up in the snow. The elves don't even care about you murdering their bro. And that's gonna do it for r/entitled parents. It feels so good to be back. I don't know how many times I can reiterate that fact, but man, it just feels good. Please let me know what you want me to get started with next week on Monday. I'll be sure to go to that subreddit, read some stuff for you. Everything's gonna be right back to the way it was. I completely promise. Except Princess might come by more often. I think she might. Maybe. We had a little bit of a disagreement, but hopefully she'll still come by to see you guys. Because I know how much you really like her. I think most of you might have even subscribed for her, but that's fine. You do you. You subscribe to channels you like, and you like Princess on the channel, so that's cool. So, with that being said, class is dismissed, and don't forget to submit your upload schedules. Later, guys!